Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be driving in the South with Katie. Corey's not with me, but I'm driving home, and so I had an interesting idea since I seem to travel a lot and I travel alone a lot. What to do when you're driving long distances. Driving in the South, how to make your long car ride more bearable. Especially if you're alone. If you're with somebody, it's easy because you have somebody to talk to. If you say, I'm thirsty, can you hand me my water bottle? Will you get me a snack? Something like that. But since I'm driving and I end up driving alone, a lot of the times it's a 2-hour ride for me, a little over 100 miles, maybe 115, 120, and I'm always going back and forth to Nick's house. So what are some things that you can do to make your ride a little bit better? Okay? Now, number one for me would be make sure that everything you need is within reaching distance. So all my water is right here in my console. If I have a snack, my snack's in the console. I have my wallet handy in case I need to stop and get gas, run into a store. Heaven forbid you get pulled over for a speeding ticket and you want to have your license handy. I did do that not that long ago. So all those things that will make your ride easy, and the things that if you had a passenger, they could do for you, but since you don't have a passenger. The next thing I like to do is I want to have my music ready to go. So like I might have a Brooks and Dunn CD is actually what I have right now. Any kind of music that you're going to want. Some of my other vehicles have tape players. If you have an aux cord, this car actually have an aux cord and a CD player. So all that's ready. So you know, it's good to have the music to listen to right when you get in the car. It kind of lifts your spirits, makes that 2-hour drive seem less of a drag, but also it's a safety thing, so you're not messing with your music while you're trying to drive. So yeah, and also the next best advice I can give you is make sure you have a full belly before you go, so you're not hungry while you're driving and you're like feeling angry on the road because you're like, man, I just should have ate, you know, and I didn't eat and I'm hungry. So instead of being like somewhere in the middle of the trip having to worry about like, oh, I don't have enough gas, I stop right before I get off of this highway here, this road, to get gas so I can go all the way home. And if you don't have a snack, that would be a good place to get a snack. So you could kind of hit two things with one for that. View is so beautiful. The mountain that we're looking at there, and you're going to have a better view of it here in a minute, is actually called Cold Mountain. And this is a very little traffic road. You know, there's not a lot of traffic here. It's just only people who live here. So before anyone says, oh my gosh, that's dangerous, you're filming while you drive, don't worry, I'm going very slow. It looks like I'm going fast, but I'm going like 30 miles per hour. And when we come down here is when you're gonna have this beautiful view. Easy to see the beautiful view. Oh my goodness, I might just have to stop and roll the window down. Yeah, I think I will. I will roll the window down. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody's behind me. Make sure nobody's behind you before you stop. Check that out. Man, isn't that beautiful? So, that is Cold Mountain. And the movie you're wondering about, there's a movie called Cold Mountain. That's it. They didn't actually film it on Cold Mountain. They filmed it, I don't even think they filmed it in the United States. But that is the mountain in the movie Cold Mountain. So it's very beautiful. I love that. That's one of my favorite views. And it's actually just a little bit different as you go along. Like as we drive down through here, you can see just a little bit more right there. Oh yeah, stop right down here. And a lovely barn to kind of complete the view. Yeah, check that out. Wow, that's so pretty. So, I don't know, you can kind of probably see it in this video. There's actually, because this is so high in elevation, those are spruce trees up there. So those aren't just deciduous trees. We got some evergreens up there, which is awesome. Man, that's pretty. This whole field is just beautiful. So it also helps when you're driving if you have really pretty views to look at. Recommendation, if you have to make a car ride, a long trip, make it a pretty one. Which is funny to say that because you don't always have control over that. But lucky for me, it's a really pretty drive. This is also one of my favorite little fields right here. Yeah. tree. A blue spruce tree that has been taken probably from the mountain and put down here. A lot of you are probably wondering, like, exactly where are you? So I'm in Haywood County, North Carolina, and I'm in a community called Crusoe. That's where I'm at. I'm just driving along. Actually, there's a little bit of road work going on down here. They got some cranes. They're actually replacing this bridge. This bridge is barely hanging on because of the damage and the floods. Last year, or earlier this year, I guess. So, it looks like they're out there working. They're probably like, why is this girl filming us? Look, you can see them they're working away. So, next tip would be to, if you can see here, I have half a tank. And my car is now up to heat, so I can turn the heat on. But if you know you've got a really long drive, what you should do probably is, and it's going to be cold, like it's really cold this morning, crank your car beforehand so you can get in it and it'll be warm and it'll be easy to go and you won't be sitting here freezing like I have been. It actually takes about 20-25 minutes probably from Nick's house to get to town. So like I'm still in Crusoe, and I'll be in Crusoe for probably the next 6 miles before I get back out to Highway 110. And occasionally up through here in different places, like up next to this power line, possibly on the power line, or in some of these trees, you'll see eagles. There's some eagles that, several eagles that live here. This is another one of my favorite views driving through here. There's a girl driving that dump truck. Not pretty? Look at that. That's so cute. Love it. Love it. I got this car, y'all, and it is on my bumper. Look, this car is on my bumper. If you're driving and somebody's on your bumper and you're nervous about it, just pull over. You don't want to just be terrified looking back there or worried about it the whole time. So just go ahead and pull yourself over. Now leaving Crusoe. So we're kind of headed back out to the highway. I mean, we're on the highway, but headed back out to 110, which I'm going to go across and then go down Waynesville Mountain. So I guess we're still on 276. This whole road is 276. Gotta stop for gas, guys. Fill this tank up. Frank's gas station. It is one of my favorites, and when I stop to get gas, I always pull through to the top. Like, does it sound funny to say you have a favorite gas station? I don't know, I just like this one. It's small, there's not a lot of people here. Because I've spent a lot of time going back and forth out here. Now I know some of the people that work there and some people that I see in Frank's, so I think that's fun. So I'm gonna fill this tank up, and then I'm contemplating getting something to eat before I leave. I left a little bit later. It's about 12 o'clock than what I wanted to, and I'm hungry. So I'm thinking, I was like, should I just run in and get something to eat real quick or pick something up? I don't know. Put gas in this tank, and then I'll let you know, because that is one of my biggest tips. Don't drive hungry. Driving in the South with Katie, you don't want to see me driving hungry. I don't know how many of the driving in the South videos you've seen me and I'm eating. Eating a sandwich, drinking water, eating food all the time. But it's not fun to be on a 2-hour trip and be hungry. So here's some of what I need. I've got my water, sunglasses, spare change. There's probably some gum under there. Had this ginger ale because my belly was hurting on the way out here. So I was like, don't want to have a belly ache. So everything that I pretty much need, purse, wallet, everything within reach. There's the aux cord, so I don't have to try to grab, like, digging over there. Here's another pretty view. I'm waiting for the gas to pump. More mountains. That's pretty. There's a mountain over the store there. Pretty mountains. Waiting for this gas to pump. Now I have a full tank, and I'm thinking that I am gonna get something to eat. I'm pretty hungry, and there's no reason to drive home the whole way 2 hours starving to death. So I might just pop in down here and get something to eat real quick. Beep beep, vroom vroom, look out, here I come. Also, another tip, leave early. Leave earlier than what I'm leaving. And then remember how I freak out and don't like traffic and it annoys me to get behind people, which is really something I shouldn't be crying about. It's not the end of the world. But if you don't want that to happen, leave earlier than 12 o'clock. Another hot driving tip, don't run red lights. I've never run one. Nobody should be running red lights. Okay, we've all accidentally went under the yellow ones that turned red sooner than what we thought, but above all else, traffic is dangerous. Don't do anything to make it more dangerous, y'all. All right, y'all, there's a big dump truck behind me. Please don't make me wait. Ye doggy, I'm gonna get something to eat. Sandwich and these french fries. That's not bad. That was fast. It only took me about 20 minutes. I wharfed it down though because I am ready to get back onto the road. I don't usually like to stop like that right in the middle of things, like when I need to, when I got somewhere to go, you know, but that's okay. Now I'm ready to get back on the road and I will have something to eat for dinner. So I like doing that. If I get something to eat, I like to only eat a little bit of it or get enough of it to where I'll have enough for lunch tomorrow or dinner, because that's one less thing I have to worry about. So here I go, off again. I know that a lot of these things may be basic to some people, but I'm telling you, how to make that long car ride, and some people are probably like, 2 hours, what are you talking about? That's not long at all. But it feels long to me. How I make that the best for me is make sure I'm fed, make sure I'm warm, gas in the tank, everything's packed up, so I don't have to stop. I can just go straight through, because I hate stopping. That's what makes it feel like it takes all day. Not a big deal. Doing what we can, having fun on the road. And I'm back like 5 minutes down the road. I want to show you another mountain view. That's pretty. It'd be prettier without all the houses. I hate to say it, but I may or may not be eating fruit snacks. Fruit snacks. Gotta turn up here on, what is this? I think this is Legion Street. Could be making that up, I'm not really sure. Ye doggy! There's actually a restaurant at the top of this hill called Bogart's, and if you live out here or you've been out here, you know what I'm talking about. I usually really like to eat at Bogart's, and I had considered stopping there for lunch instead of the Jukebox Junction, but I also really like the Jukebox, and it'd be a lot faster. That's a good looking truck right there. Yeah, doggy. Good paint job too. Alright, I'm down here in Waynesville now. There's an orchard up here, and when I was little and we would come out to Canton, because that's where my grandparents live, I would always look at this orchard and be like, I know we're getting close. When I was little and kind of didn't understand the highway and all that, like now I know where everything's at, but when you're little and you're riding instead of driving, it's different. So I'd always look at this orchard with all those apple trees and be like, we're getting close. We must be close to Papa and Nana's house. On the way back, all this is downhill, and there's quite a bit of downhill that you gotta go. It's like a really pretty heavy downhill grade. Of course, on the way here, it's uphill, but it's funny how it looks so different. Like on the way, when I'm coming up this, I'm like, woohoo, you know, coming up this hill, gonna get here, gonna get out here, get off the road. going home, it's like, I don't know, the whole downhill thing it's a different energy thing. Like, oh, just driving down this hill, feels like it's gonna take forever. It's just funny that how, like, you get used to what something looks like on the way there versus what it looks like on the way back. What we doing, boys? Got some vlogs? I don't know, that's really interesting if I'm the only one that thinks that. Like, that it feels and looks different on the way somewhere than it does on the way back. These mountains here. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Man, that's just beautiful. Hope that bicycler had plenty of clothes on because I bet it's cold out there. One more thing. Over here is Uncle Bill's flea market. I've never stopped, but I've always wanted to stop. I wouldn't really want to stop alone, so I'd have to stop with somebody. And they do that, I'm sure, on the weekend. So, kind of cool. Uncle Bill's flea market. Comment below if you've ever been there. Headed toward the Gorge. So, if you're coming out east in the state, you can either go through the Gorge, or you can go Franklin Mountain. I just go the Gorge because it's what I'm used to. It's what my mom and dad always went when we were kiddos. So I go the Gorge. And it is inevitable that somewhere in this gorge, I will get behind a truck or somebody going 2 miles per hour. It happens every single time. Yes. So on the other side of the gorge, I'll come out in Andrews and I will be really close to home. I realize I said gorge, and a lot of you probably don't know what I mean. I'm talking about the Nantahala Gorge. That's the specific gorge I'm talking about, because there's lots of them. And it's kind of a rough little drive, I'm not gonna lie. It can be a rough little drive, especially if you get behind a truck. A lot of the times, there'll be semis or chipper trucks coming this way, because they're headed to the mill in Canton. And it's no fun to get behind one of those, because it can take what should be about 20-25 minutes, and it can take it and turn it into like 45 minutes. So you've got, this is where you'd have to come out somewhere down here out of the river if you're whitewater rafting. And then this is the NOC Center. So there's a general store, a little restaurant, that kind of thing down here. And then you just keep driving through. It's pretty, I mean, like if you look up there, you can see those rocks. Like this is, it's pretty rough, pretty rugged, that's what I was looking for, rugged. And the river's really moving too, so yeah, that's why I don't want to end that. I don't want to raft that. It looks rough. Looks like particularly rough today. I am back behind another truck, but that's okay. It just gives me a good opportunity to kind of film some of this. This is really pretty. These mountains are big. There's actually down on the other side in a couple miles, there is a quarry where they blow rock out of the mountain for gravel. I don't actually know if you can see over there, but that is the quarry where they bust that rock out. Yes. And here we are on the other side of the gorge in Andrews. This is where it goes from a 2-lane into a 4-lane. Man, isn't that pretty? Wow. My favorite view is on the other side. Look. You can see my favorite view in my mirror. Back to Peachtree. Very close to home now. I'm probably only about 10 minutes away. Also, look, it's Santa and Mrs. Santa in there. Mrs. Claus, I guess. Almost back, guys. I'm about 2 minutes. I made it back. There's Corey's car, my truck, sitting in the driveway. So I hope you enjoyed the ride along with me. And I'm glad that I packed my snacks. I'm glad that I stopped to get something to eat, got some water. It was a good trip, not too much traffic. So driving in the south with Katie, I was lonely by myself. And hopefully, if you have to make a long car ride, you'll have everything you need. You'll be prepared. Hopefully, you'll have a good Christmas sweater like mine. And until then, until whenever, until we see you again, be good, be safe, pack your snacks, do whatever you got to do. Catch you at the next one.